Hey there, welcome to day 1511 of What's She Up To Now. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here, sharing and documenting the journey as I have transitioned and done, gone from the offline corporate world of business to the online world of business. In 2017, I came online following my divorce because I wanted something to keep doing, but I wasn't sure what I wanted it to be. So I was curious about the internet. I hopped on and started playing in the internet world a little bit. And then 2020 hit, COVID, the pandemic, and I started to do a little bit of back and forth because I think it's important that we have the ability to take care of ourselves, get the own resources in our own countries before we become this global world where we find that one thing can happen and it shuts everything down. I think we're experiencing that right now. I believe some of it's intentional and sad, or some of it's unintentional, but for the wrong reasons, being created in, at least here in America. I mean, we've never seen food shortages since the Depression and things. And now we're seeing people in line since COVID pandemic. And now the war in Ukraine is being used as the excuse for, and Russia's being blamed for everything that's going on. Well, so another one of those situations, think for ourselves, really take care of yourselves, and don't have a one-track mind. Our idiom for Supersize Your Business today was one-track mind, and I made this cute little track graphic, one-track mind. But it's to remind us that we want to be singularly focused on what we want. What are the things we want in our life? Now, I'm focused on what I want, but I'm focused on what I want in my life in categories and using the life framework: physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, financial, relationships, contribution. And then I added communication and confidence last year, since I was working with a coach in those areas. And I guess next month we're going to be wrapping that up. And then I'll probably keep them in for the rest of this year because I have goals in confidence and communication this year. But then we'll see next year if I want to continue adding them as parts of my life framework, or if I want to say, okay, they're foundational. I've got the foundation set. I'm going to continue to evolve and grow in those areas. Do I really need to have separate goals spelled out and called out in them to remind me? I think what we measure and what we pay attention to, what we focus on, is what we create in our lives. And so I may or may not keep them in. I'm totally undecided. We'll see. I may or may not re-up for the coaching. I'm leaning against it right now because I have other priorities and other things that I want to focus on instead. So we'll see. But one-track mind, I talked about ways that we can not have a single-track mind. I think we need, especially when we're building, and this is a business group that I share the idioms in. When we're building a business, we need to have complete clarity on what it is we're creating, the business, but we have to have flexibility and open-mindedness in terms of how we're going to get there. How are we going to get from where we are to where we want to be? So often we're told that we need to plan and strategize and set objectives and down to the most minute detail, yet that's shutting us off from all the other possible ways of something happening that we could not even possibly imagine or think of. So I like to have my focus, but be totally open on how I'm going to get there, right? I want to create X dollars of sales in my organization, but how I'm going to get there is able to change based on what's working and what's not working. Lessons that I've learned, things that are my strengths I want to build on, and the things that I'm not so good at, I either want to delegate those if they have to be done, or I want to make sure that I'm not negatively impacting them in any way, shape, or form. So one-track mind, I've been guilty of that, having a one-track mind, but I did learn at 50 that if you have a one-track mind and you totally shut off and ignore certain areas and aspects of your life framework, your life, you might not have a life to worry about anything else in. So that was our idiom for Supersize Your Business today. Now, our lesson for our annual challenge, our BU 365-day challenge, to do one thing every day that improves us, was about an exercise and a tool called the 7 Whys. Now, I've done the 5 Why exercise for decades, but in January of 2020, actually, I caught a training of Dean Graciosi's. I want to give credit where credit is due, and I can't remember where he said he learned it. I think he learned it from, the Genius Network or something, or one of those mastermind groups that he was in. And it just takes asking a series of 5 whys do you want something, and adds 2 more on. And for some reason, I agree with him after doing it several times. It does, those 2 extra Y's make a difference. They get you in deeper at a more core value emotional level. They get you down deep. And maybe sometimes you have to ask yourself 10 series of 10 or 20 whys. The point is, keep asking yourself why till you get down to the real reason, the core value, the thing that's going to drive you and motivate you to take the steps you need to take in any area or aspect of your life to create the area, to create what you want in that area of your life. So I just went through a very rough example off the top of my head on getting, what did I say? Oh, I can have, do, and be whatever I want, which is really, really broad. And so I probably should have had a much more narrow focus for the example. But on the Get Up and Go Challenge private group page, Guide 15. I wonder how long it's going to take me to change to Guide 15 automatically. Guide 15 has got all of this year's challenge, but all the other guides in that private group have the 10 previous Get Up and Go challenges that we did in 2020 and 2021, the 30 plus day ones, as well as some other pieces of content and segments and online things that or not online things, but personal development type things that I did. No Nonsense November. I think there's a couple months of those in there and things that we did in between the challenge, the months that we didn't do the challenge. I did some lessons learned and things and shared those things. And so there's at least 10 times that I've gone through the 7Y exercise in that private group. And you could go and you could just search 7Ys, WHYS, I guess, or however you want to word it. And you'll get at least 10 or 11 videos, walkthroughs on that. And you can fast forward till you get to the 7Y examples. If you want help with that or it's something you're curious about, just ask in the direct messages and I'd be glad to share it because it has been such a powerful exercise for me. I want to make sure that I share it. So every month this year, we did it every time we went through the Get Up and Go challenge. But now this year, since we've rolled the Get Up and Go challenge into the annual challenge, January, we focused on our physical well-being. February, we focused on our emotional well-being. This month, we're focusing on our mental well-being. And then next month, spiritual. And then we'll do, I don't remember if relationships or finances is first. And then we'll do contribution, communication, and confidence. And we'll do we'll do certain exercises every month because they're that important. They've been so powerful in my life. I want to make sure we go through them at least 9 times this year so that people have seen them in a lot of different applications and they understand how they could work for them, how they could tweak them and make them their own. And this is one of those exercises, 7Y. I might find that in a couple of months, I should rearrange the days that we do certain exercises because it's more powerful. But for right now, I just randomly set up my calendar and it's so when I get to the day, that's the subject that we cover. And once in a while I look at the wrong date. I think I did that about a week ago and we cover something else and I have to change the whole schedule. And that's okay too, because it's our challenge and we can do what we want with it. I have caught an old-fashioned cold from one of my granddaughters, and now my other granddaughter and I both have this funky cold. And so I think today is going to be a granddaughter and I hang out together today so nobody else gets our cold. And then see if we can't, nurture it and get rid of it more quickly than not. I don't want to accept the 2-week colds anymore. I want to be over it in a day or so and then just be done with it. But I can feel my nose and my sinuses and my head's all foggy. That is all I'm going to share right now. I've got so much stuff going on, but it's all focused on creating the end thing that I want to create in my life and the supersizing of my business. I'm going to sneeze now. All right, if I can help you in any way, ask. Otherwise, I will be with you tomorrow. Bye.